Welcome, lovely friend. Sequoia here, your spiritual teacher, coach, and intuitive reader. Today, I want to talk to you about wise boundaries in your work and professional life. Really important, really key to thriving, creating a life of joy. And I also want to say, I do this every so often, I also want to say that, you know what, I am the best in the world at helping put you back in contact with why you're really here on this earth. Every bit of work I do, every live video, every time I'm in session with clients, every time you and me are talking in the DMs, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting you back in touch with why you're really here on this earth. Why are you really here on this earth? Okay. So, as you're coming in and watching this, be sure to give me a like or a heart. Let me know you're here so I know I'm not speaking out into the void. You can give me a comment like, I'm here. Hey, Sequoia. And please do share this with someone you know could use some wise boundaries in their work and professional life. It's we all do better when we all do better, right? So if you share this out, you'll be doing somebody a nice favor for sure. Okay, so here's the deal. When you do not have wise boundaries in your work, in your career, in your professional life, anywhere in your life, but we're going to talk about work today. It results in you feeling depleted, exhausted, getting sick a lot, and let me know if you've had this experience of other people, whether this be your coworkers, your clients, your like supervisor, your boss, your manager, whoever it might be, dictating to you the way you work best, telling you how you internally exist and work in the world, what kind of work situation is best for you. And if you've had that experience, how that felt for you, what happened inside of you when you met with your new client, your old client, when you had a customer dictating to you how things were going to run. If you've had a like really micromanaging boss that because of the way it works for them, they assume it's the way it works for you. And they're just telling you that that's the way, that's what you're going to do, the end. How did that feel when that happened? What came up for you when you were experiencing being told how you work internally? I bet it was not nice. I bet it was really uncomfortable. I've been there. And here's the thing, when that happens, when we let it happen, when we let people treat us in a way that is unacceptable, honestly, that's a word I've used a lot in my life, we weaken ourselves. We weaken ourselves. We allow ourselves to be weakened. And then, therefore, don't do as good of a job as we otherwise could. And we're not being of service in the most powerful and strong way that we're meant to be. Yeah? Does that happen to you? Have you had that feeling of deep in your soul, you want to be of service, you want to do good work in this world? I use the term light worker really loosely. So anyone who's doing good work in the world, making the world a better place, like all a light worker, right? So you have this desire to be a light worker, to do good in the world, to be of service, to help people, and then you're put in your place, quote unquote. Your place is not that. You're put in your place. You're told how things are gonna run. You let sort of a customer or a client like run the show and run all over you, and then all of a sudden you're out of alignment, and you realize like, wait, I'm not even like doing the best I could here, right? This is body wise boundaries. There's a difference between speaking a wise boundary and embodying it within the totality of who you are. And if you're unclear about the difference between a boundary, a regular old healthy boundary, and a wise boundary, let me know and I will direct you to the video I did on that. The difference between a healthy boundary and a wise boundary. It's an important distinction, right? So the need to speak up, stand up, embody wise boundaries enables you to do a better job, enables you to be in greater service to this world in the way you're meant to be, in the way that you're meant to be. Yeah? So if you already know I'm talking to you, then go DM me, Wise Boundaries, and we'll talk about how to work together and what it is, where it is, how it is to set these wise boundaries in a physical, real world way and in an energetic way. Yeah. They really need to go together, and that's a key about the embodying of wise boundaries. It's like, yeah, you know it when you say it, but is it in your heart and soul? Is it deep in you? Yeah? Okay, so when we don't have these wise boundaries in place, it leads you to like hating your work, even if it's work you love. It leads you to burnout. It leads you to wanting to give up and just, I can't curse on Facebook Live, but there's a curse there. You can hear in your own mind. Like, I'm out. Yeah. Uh, and the feeling of like being done with the day and just exhausted, done, completely depleted. Like, your work should not feel like that. Society leads us to think that that's what work is, and it isn't. And it doesn't allow you to be your best. It doesn't allow you to be in the greatest service you could be. Mm-hmm. So you might have heard that you teach people how to treat you, right? Have you heard that? Let me know if you've heard that before. And I want to give you an example of this. So back in, I think I was still a teenager, and I was waiting tables while I was going to school. And there was a cook in the back who was really inappropriate to all the female workers, his coworkers. And unfortunately, nothing was being done about this by anybody. So, like, on one of my very first days, I came in and he said, it was like a work related thing. I forget, he wanted to get me to get something or whatever he said, but whatever he said, la la la, sexy. That's how he ended that statement. And I said, don't call me that. And it never happened again. He never said an inappropriate word to me ever again the whole time I worked there. Meanwhile, saying inappropriate words to everybody else and not welcome. Nobody was into it, That was a moment in which I don't want to be treated like that. I stood up for myself. I said what was important, and I did it from deep within me. It wasn't like, hey, I don't like it when you talk to me like that. Don't do that. Right? There's people can feel when you mean it and when you don't. So you might say it, but if you don't mean it from deep in your soul, people will not respond, right? So, okay, that's an example in work. Let me talk about when I am still taking private clients. When I started taking private clients, uh, I really used to make the mistake of letting clients tell me how the sessions were going to go. Letting clients tell me how I needed to be mentoring and teaching and coaching. And honestly, it's a disaster. If you do that, you're the one who knows. You know you best. You know how you work best. And if you're letting other people dictate to you what you know and how you're going to do it, um, that's not why they're coming to you. Customers, clients, even coworkers want to be held in a way that makes them feel like, oh, you know what you're doing. I can trust that here I am in your work environment, in your setting, and you're going to take care of me. There's a real difference between that feeling of like, this person has got me, I trust them, they're capable, versus like, I'm going to tell them what to do because I don't feel like that. Or because sometimes people are so used to taking control that they just try to do it, right? Let me know if you feel the difference between that, right? When you lead, when you set yourself up with these really wise boundaries, when you don't allow others to dictate to you the way you work best, whether you run your own business or not, you might work in an office setting, you might work in, there's a million places you could work, right? Uh, okay. So I just, as you know, when I'm doing these videos, sometimes I'll get like the intuitive hits from my divine assistants. They're not assistants, guides. Assistants sound like they work for me and they don't. um, so they're reminding me to say, this is scary to do. This is scary to do. And, right, you might have this feeling of like, well, if I set and embody and live these wise boundaries, what if I lose clients? What if I lose my job? What if I get fired? What if, what if, what if, what if? What if you don't? Right? What if you don't? What if you don't? You're just going to keep being exhausted, depleted, wanting to quit, wanting to give up. And maybe even for some of you watching and listening, maybe even doing a good job for people, but at the end of it feeling like, oh God, like, oh, that like took the life out of me. And you don't want to be feeling like that. You don't want to be feeling like that because, as I said, you're not doing your best work and you're not being in the highest service you could be when you're feeling like that. You have to let your work be sustainable from within you first. Within you first, within you first, within you first, within you first. So, listen, if you, clients that you lose as a result of this are not the right fit. This creates space for you to bring in better people. And when we work together, we'll talk about that. Like, how do you go about that magnetizing energy to bring the right people into your life in all aspects of your life? In all aspects of your life. Many of you who work with me and who will work with me are in jobs that are not right, to be perfectly frank. In jobs where maybe you're getting to fulfill some of your gifts, but not all of them, and it's not right in your soul. It's not right in your spirit, and as I said, it's leaving you depleted, exhausted. When we live in a way Empaths, highly sensitive people, intuitive people, when we live in a way that is against all of that, that is against your intuition, against your gifts, is one of the most draining and exhausting things you can possibly do. Really. You feel me? Are you there? So, you don't have to do it all at once. It doesn't have to be a crazy, like, change my life. Although if you want to, you can. Uh, but yes, when you start embodying deep from within you wise boundaries and enacting them in your life, yes, you might leave a job that doesn't suit you to go to something better, to go to something better, to live your gifts out more fully in a way that works for you, in a way that works for everybody. Yes, you might restructure the way you work now. Yes. And that's not a bad thing. Even though that's a scary thing, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That sets you up for a more joyful life, which is the whole deal here. It's the whole thing we're going for. A beautiful, sustainable, joyful life. Through hard times, through scary times, through big shifts. You're here because there's big shifts to make, right? You watch these videos because there's big shifts to make. I know that's true. I know that's true because I've seen it in my clients, and I know that's true because that's what happened for me, right? I had to make big shifts in my life to have a joyful, beautiful, sustainable, magical life that suits me, that works for me. I get to work in the way I want to work. I get to work in the way that works for me, and you can too. No matter what your situation is now, you can too. So, okay, I want to give you a tip for how you can start to do this, for how you can start to bring these wise boundaries into your own life, how you start to live them, embody them from deep within. And before I do that, I want to remind you, go DM me. You can DM me wise boundaries, so that we can talk about what it would look like to work together. What would it be for you to not feel exhausted, to not feel depleted, to be in love with your life, to be in love with your work, to be stoked. Yes, I'm Californian now. I say that all the time, stoked. I'm from New York originally, if you don't know that. To be stoked about what you get to do in this world. To feel like, I'm living my purpose. I am living my purpose. Yes. Even if you're not totally clear about what your purpose is, that's something we can absolutely work on together. So get in my DMs, say wise boundaries, and we will discuss it. Okay. Here's the tip I want to give you. I want you to finish this statement. I work best when. It's a really simple statement, but it's a really powerful statement. And you might, like, this might be a revelation already, just asking this question. I work best when. I could give examples and fill in the blank, right? But I kind of want you to do it on your own, right? I work best when. You might use this as a journal prompt. It can be really powerful to write things down. I'll just leave that at that. But you can also finish it in your mind. I would say to at least speak it out loud. I work best when, personally, I work best when I get to have a very spacious morning. I work best when I have time every morning to meditate, to take a walk, to read my books. And sometimes I don't do that. Sometimes it's something else, but I work best when I have that space for myself to decide. I've never been a morning person. Even if I wake up early, which sometimes I do now, I'm not all the way awake until like 10, 11 a.m. So, I don't work best. If I'm having to go work at 7:30 a.m., I can do it, right? like many of you, I'm sure you can do what you're doing for a time until it's too much, but it's not your best. So you finish the statement. I work best when, and in fact, I invite you to write that in the comments, to DM me. What have you come up with? I work best when. Let me know. Let me know how it works for you. Yeah? Okay. So here's the deal. If you don't create these wise boundaries in your work life, and let me just say, you can do this in any area of work. I just heard, like, if you're a barista or something, you get to do this too. Yes, you might have a like busy day, a lot of demanding people coming up to you, but you still determine how you are treated. You really do. And people respect you when you respect yourself. You're allowing yourself to be trampled upon by every last person. That's not self-respect. That's overgiving and exhaustion. And so what I was about to say is, here's the deal. If you don't set these wise boundaries, again, if you're not clear on the difference between wise boundaries and healthy boundaries and just regular old boundaries, let me know and I will link you back to that video where I explain all that. If you don't, then the exhaustion continues. And like, what happens if you're exhausted and burnt out and ready to give up? Eventually you do. Eventually, like, you could literally work yourself to death. I know you've all heard stories, maybe seen people in your own life who do this. You don't want that. I don't want that. And you know what? You don't want that because you are of service to humanity. And if you're working yourself to death, if you're working yourself to sickness, if you're working yourself to total exhaustion, there's no way you're serving humanity in the way you could. So for yourself, you don't want to do this. And for humanity, you don't want to do this. Self-love, self-respect, wise boundaries, you first. When you put yourself in alignment, when you take care of you, then you are a better service for everybody else. Yeah? So I'm about to wrap up here. Let's see. All right, I don't see any comments, so if you have comments for me later, I always come back and check those. You get to work in the way that suits you. You get to work in the way that suits you. So one more invitation. DM me wise boundaries so that we can have a conversation about what working together looks like. What this is just the start. This little sentence I gave you, I work best when, that's the very first part. The very, very first part about getting clear on your own self. These wise boundaries I've been talking about all these times, this is a combination of real world concrete action and beautiful energetic practice and protection. I can feel it right now. I have a whole host of beautiful things to teach you about energetic practice and protection combined with real world action. The spiritual health and the mental health gotta go together every single time. All right, so DM me wise boundaries. We will get it going. I want you on track for this. I want you to be living a joyful and beautiful life that works for you. That's my whole mission. My whole mission is to get those who are in my world to be of service in the way they're meant to be powerful in the way they're meant to. All right, so I'm going to sign off. Once again, I'm Sequoia, your spiritual teacher, coach, and intuitive reader. I will be live again next week, and I will see you then.